That thong. I like it when the booty goes. Baby, when the booty goes. Oh, man, that sounds so good. Welcome, guys, to Think About It Reviews, and we are talking Pitch Perfect 2. And this is directed by Elizabeth Banks, starring Anna Kendrick, Rebel Wilson. Man, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the first Pitch Perfect. It definitely was a sleeper. I definitely was surprised at how good it was. And I watched it the other day, and I still enjoy it. Now, here's my rules in comedies. All you have to do is really make me laugh. Make me laugh through most of the movie, and pretty much I have to be entertained, and I have to actually really enjoy my experience. And I got that for Pitch Perfect 2. Is it better than the first Pitch Perfect? It's close. It has problems as, Pitch Perfect 2, but it's pretty close. It's right there on the nose. I enjoyed both of them. I think a lot of people go watch Mad Max, and then they're going to go into this. It's just a different experience. And I think this film is, if you're looking for a comedy, there you go. Now, I will say, though, it felt a little long. And the directing, Elizabeth Banks, this is her first time directing a film. And I think, honestly, the camera work, I think it was the camera operator and her and the camera operator didn't see eye to eye or whatever. I hate when the camera work is so close in and so personal that you got to back it up a little bit. It seems like some of the shots she took were safe and there wasn't really nothing to them. And when they were close up, sometimes the camera was a little bit too low or a little bit too high. That's how I felt. That's what I felt when watching this film. I don't know if it's maybe because it's a big ass screen, but I felt like I wanted more from the camera work in the directing of Elizabeth Banks. But other than that, I think what we have here is pretty much a swan song to the Bellas from the first one. You had Anna Kendrick, you had Rebel Wilson, and you have newer faces coming to the picture. Haley Steinfeld, who plays Emily, she brings a little bit originality to this film, so I like that aspect to it. I will say, though, the very beginning got me, laughing, and then that first act, that little space right there, think about maybe 20 minutes of that time after the first, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, you don't laugh, you don't chuckle. It's just kind of, you're just going through the emotions. But once it started getting to the second act and then the third act of the film at the ending, it really got you. It really made you laugh, and especially Rebel Wilson. I think Rebel Wilson as Fat Amy is so funny. And that's the other thing, though. Of course, you're going to get stereotypes. Of course, you know what you're getting into when you go watch this film. Fat Amy, she's funny because she's fat. She makes she does fat joke things. It is what it is. There's a newer Bella in this group who's Mexican, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because that's a stereotypical character. It's not a character. It's not, she doesn't really bring anything except Mexican kind of jokes. Like, oh, look, she's Mexican. She's from Mexico, and she does this and that. I felt like that was a little bit of, I didn't really need that. If you're going to have her come in, just make her a character. She can have all this background and stuff, but don't make her a stereotype. So I was a little disappointed in that factor. The Germans, the villains, so to speak, they're humongous. They're big. I didn't know what I was going to get into with the singing, what kind of songs they were going to pick, because the trailers didn't really get me going. It really didn't make me laugh as much as I wanted to. So I was kind of hesitant when entering this film and what kind of music they were going to be playing. All the music's great. I think all the cameos are great. I think best part of the film is in the second act when there's a certain point, there's a sing-off between a lot of groups, and that is what made it it took off. The film took off after that moment because it's not a spoiler. You see the Green Bay Packers in the trailer. They're in that little sing-off, and it is hysterical. I'm glad they brought Bumper back from the first film, too, because he has a story in the second film, and I really like that character from the first one. So Bumper in this film, actually, and him and Fat Amy they're awesome. I really laughed when those two were together. Great chemistry. Anna Kendrick did a great job. She's progressing. She's, there's character development there. She's moving on from the Bellas. This is their Bella's swan song. I thought, it's the first film really focused on her and getting into the Bellas. This one really focused a little bit on her, but on the newer faces as well. Haley Steinfeld, Emily. She brings in originality and stuff. I thought that was great, just kind of spreading different kind of stories. It did feel like there was a little bit too much going on, but it was it really did work out at the end. I mean, the editing was fine, the pacing was fine, and the tone was fine. The directing, like I said, was okay. Other than that, I mean, what can I say? There was one moment in the theater that I've never experienced in my life watching a movie. It's not spoiling anything, but there's a certain scene that deals with the Green Bay Packers and Rebel Wilson, Fat Amy. She says something, and all in the back, all I hear is just women laughing, not men, because there were a few guys. I mean, there was guys in the theater. You knew it was just all women laughing at that one certain part. I've never ever experienced that before. It was all women. It was all women who laughed at that part. Other than that, it's a fun ride. It's a fun film. It does have problems, like I said. It does feel like there's a little bit too much going on, and you do lose some character kind of interaction that you probably wanted to see that was in the first one, but not really in this one, especially with Anna Kendrick's boyfriend. But other than that, it really was a fun time. It made me laugh. I enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it after leaving the theater, so what can I say? Do I recommend it? Hell yeah, I recommend it. And you know what? But if you don't want to watch this, if you don't want to pay $11.50 for this film, the ticket price, and you want to wait for it on DVD, check out the first Pitch Perfect. It really was a hidden gem. It really blew my mind how actually good it was. So thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, like. I make videos every single day. I work hard, so thank you guys. And like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat, get some good popcorn to eat. See you at the cinemas. All right.